Welcome to Santa Clara Toastmasters. My name is Abhijeet. Our Toastmaster for today is Saloni Jain. Saloni, it's all you.
Thank you, Abhijeet. So, fellow Toastmasters, it's my privilege and pleasure to welcome you all here to the Santa Clara Entrepreneurs Toastmasters Club. So, I will quickly walk you through the structure for today's session. So, the first is a prepared speech round where members will be delivering the speech based on the projects and paths that they have chosen, which is followed by the table topics round where members can practice thinking and speaking on the feet. And the third round will be the evaluation round, where all the prepared speeches, as well all the other aspects of the session, will be evaluated by our general evaluator. So the first speech, our first speaker will be Nagraj, and Ravi will be his evaluator. The second speaker will be Abhijeet, and Stephen will be his evaluator. Kirti is the table topics master. The word of the day is redeem. Redeem means is to succeed or do something good after one is failed or has done something bad. So that is the word for the day. And the theme for today's session is reinvent yourself. So today's theme is reinvent yourself. Reinvent yourself means to change the patterns of your life that are no longer serving you for your own good. We must reinvent ourselves at least once in our life. It can happen at any time, it can happen at any age. With me, it happens when I got my dream job in my dream company that I'm still working on. So, yes, I was very happy because I had a dream. I worked so hard for it. And when I got my dream company, I just put all my efforts and everything on my one dream only. So, after achieving that one dream, I started to feel a little purposeless. Like I had no other dream to work on. I got my dream, what to do? And at that time, I realized, okay, Saloni, it's the time to reinvent yourself. So I bring back all of my lost dreams and started to work on each of them. And so I redeemed myself from being purposeless to be a winner of a speech competition, to be a member of the Toastmasters Club, to be able to write a book, to being a mentor, and yes, to be an entrepreneur. I'm working on it currently. So it all happens because I decided to reinvent my life. I didn't get stuck to only one dream. So if I can reinvent myself, I know definitely everyone can. Okay. So now I would like to start the prepared speech round. The first speaker of this round will be attempting level 1 project evaluation and feedback speech from dynamic leadership pathway. And to evaluate the speech, we have Toastmaster Ravi. I request you to please read out the speech objectives. Toastmaster Ravi. You're on
Ravi, you're
mute.
still muted.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can hear.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster. Nagaraj is doing his Pathways Dynamic Leadership, level 1. This is a project like a icebreaker, and I will be giving evaluation on structure, delivery, content. And he will be working on the feedback and he'll be redelivering the structure. That is the objective of this. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
So I would like to call Nagraj, our first speaker. Nagraj, elements of business plan. Elements of business plan, Nagraj.
Thank you, Saloni. As you mentioned, after you land on the dream job, your dream could be to reinvent yourself to start a company. So let's take the first step forward to see what it entails, as in how to create a business plan. So elements of business plan is the topic for today. Have you ever wondered what's inside a business plan? Today, that wonder should be taken care of. So first of all, why? Why do you create a business plan? So the ideas are in your head as an entrepreneur, right? So you have to communicate that idea, could be to your friends and family, to your investors. So you put that idea, hash it out by documenting the details in a business plan. Well, typically people don't have time to read lengthy business plans. So that's one of the reasons we put a business plan together. So what is inside the business plan? So you explain your idea, what your customer is, your product and value you create, how you serve them, and how you reach and what they will buy. So typically in the past, the business plans used to be 40, 50 pages. Now, I would say 10 to 15 pages is the optimal, and a high level overview in the first page and then all the details. Let's go over what kind of sections are inside a business plan. They're at a high level 11 sections. We will go through each at a bit of a detail. Let's dive into it. First comes executive summary. So people are busy and they don't have time to even read this 15-page business plan. So executive summary is 1 page or 1.5 page bird's eye view of everything. So let's say you're giving it to another CEO and they have only 2 or 3 minutes. You better get your executive summary good. So executive summary can be treated as your pitch, elevator pitch, which has mission, company, your product, market, competitive advantage, financial projections, and startup, as in what you are asking the investor to be. So I have shown 2 examples for you to follow. Next section would be the industry, company, and product. So what industry are you targeting? How is that industry growing, or right present and future? And how is your company targeting in that industry, and what product or service you have? And then in this section, you explain the critical business or critical success factors, strategy, your strategy. It could be operational business strategy, people, your strategic advantage inside the people, intellectual property, and increased customer satisfaction, quality of service, feedback, and all that. And also next, you will look into the 5 forces which are applicable for your company in this industry, like competition, potential of new entrants, power of suppliers, customers, and substitutes. So this is inside section 2. So out of the 11 sections, we are in section 2. And after you complete section 2, you move on to section 3 to explain the marketing research and analysis. So here you explain the total market. So this is total market, inside this is available market, and inside this is you can obtain realistically with your resources you have at this moment. So you come into the core. So that's what you can obtain right now. So, and also you explain how your industry or your market is growing, uptrend, sideways, or downtrend in this section. And also you mention how do you segment your target market. So it could be based on 4 of these criteria: geographic, demographic, psychographic, and behavioral. And how you target that particular niche or that particular narrow segment is what you explain. How do you obtain that narrow segment? And you also explain your competition, and also how are you competing against already established players, as in are you high end, low end, or how are you differentiating based on your competition, ease of use, quality of service, all those aspects. After you complete section 3, you move on to section 4. Before that, you can complete the competitive assessment as well, where you are explaining how you are different from your competition. It's based on these charts, which can guide you when you compare it with your competition, and also various aspects where you can differentiate with respect to your competition. These are some frameworks, templates you can use. Next, we will go to the section 4, which is marketing plan. Inside marketing plan, it's very detailed. So historically, where it was different with the digital age, it's became very different. Demand generation, where you create excitement in the community and scarcity to create more awareness and people buying your product based on the traction you create. And brand awareness, how do you distribute and channel your product? And the pricing structure you take as in subscription or premium to reach the customers. And how do you enable the sales channels to enable them to reach more customers? And how do you segment, target, and position? Positioning as premium or low end or cost effective, reliable, quality product. How do you position your product? And then digital marketing could be search engine optimization, keyword search engine marketing, social media, email, newsletters, blogs as such, and how your go-to-market strategy. So marketing plan is very important as a startup for you to make sure you reach and scale effectively. And this is how you create demand generation. Inside this, you create awareness, interest, desire based on psychological aspect, and then the behavioral aspect where the customer do take some action to evaluate and try and adopt your product. This is the demand generation aspect of it. Next, next section 5, we'll describe what your MVP is. You cannot be doing the big thing. It's better to focus on the small, very minimal viable product for you to launch. Then you define the roadmaps where you are tackling the big thing, big product, various features and aspects of the design. And the development methodology, it's better to have this iterative, not like waterfall type, iterative as in you get the feedback from customer and then improve and then release. That iterative mindset or iterative products development is very useful as a startup. And what kind of intellectual property you could have to differentiate from the competition, and all the risks and quality and cost management you explain in this section. Section 6 is your operation plan. Where are you located, places of operation, your strategy behind operation plan, and if you're a hardware company, facilities, and also your team, marketing, sales, and engineering, and efficiency of business. All that is mostly relevant for hardware centric for the facilities aspect, but software companies also have all these strategies and plans and service and warranty as applicable. Next, section 7, you look at your team. The team is the core, right? Otherwise, nothing gets done. So you need to make sure your co-founding team is cohesive, very well organized, have that emotional intelligence, and also self-motivating, and also motivating others to get things done. That's very important. And you also define the structure of the company in this section. Key management personnel, as in if you have advisors or directors, and also any other professional services like legal services or other mentors or other universities you tap into to enable yourself with wider network to scale. Section number 8, you describe the risks. I know you as an entrepreneur always are very enthusiastic and very could be narrow-minded on only focusing on your stuff, but it's always good to see what risks you can envision and document early on to mitigate and scale your company effectively without any blind spots. So even though you are a small early, it's always investors would look for financial projections. I know it could be very hypothetical, but still it's good to plan. Let's say you have let's say $50,000 for first year to invest in your own company. How do you get next $50,000, for example, right? And let's say you have products or service you're trying to sell based on a freemium or subscription, how much you will be selling and how much per unit you can get to incur revenue, and what could be your expense to generate income, and also your various gross margins and operational margins to see where the expenses will fit in. All that, profit and loss statements and cash flow, balance sheet, break-even analysis, and what could be the future as in when you break even, what could be the exit strategy, Is it private equity, or is it IPO, or you want to grow organically, or you want to inject with various capitalization structures with debt and equity structure? All that you could put it in your financial planning. Next is section 10, where it goes into financial planning as well. Decide financing. How are you building the company? Let's say you have very little money. So you could be bootstrapping. You could tap into friends and family. You could do crowdsourcing, and you could do convertible notes or safe notes. Or if you have some traction, you can do a debt, or you can raise capital as seed, angel, Series A, Series B, or from the VCs. So there are various financing aspects you can think of and document ahead, which you as a roadmap. And then how do you capitalize, right? You cannot be selling the whole equity to others. So you want to make sure you take a little bit of debt to begin with and get good traction. And when you have traction, when you have a PowerPoint company, people, you might have to write your whole company off. If you have a company or a concept of service where you have customers, then you might not have to write your company off. So it's always good to have customers, so that when you go a little bit later on the investor cycle, so that you don't have to write your company off. Maybe you just have to give away 10 or 20% of your company. That's where the capitalization and use of funds come into. That's section 11, where you put all the exhibits. So the section 11 was not much to cover for me. So those are the 11 sections of your business plan. So with that, I hope you have some framework for you to, whenever you have an idea, I'm hoping you can hash out the details and put it on the document, so that you can communicate to your friends and family or mentors to get your concept off the ground. Over to you, Sanomi.
Thank you, Nagraj. That was so nicely explained, all the elements of business plan. Since I'm from tech background, so I had no idea on this business, but I am able to understand every element that you have explained. So I hope everyone feels the same. Now, I would like to have 1 minute for the feedbacks and speeches. Feedbacks and evaluations, sorry. All right. Okay. So now let's move on to the same segment. The second speaker for this round will be attempting level 3, project 2, connect with storytelling from the persuasive influence path. To evaluate the speech, we have Toastmaster Stephen. I request you to please read out the speech objectives. Toastmaster Stephen.
You, Toastmaster of the Day, Saloni. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice using story within the speech, or giving a speech that has a story. And Abhijeet recently went on a silent meditation retreat, and he thought this was going to be a breeze, as he had already done it for 10 days. But he did not know the stakes are higher for veterans. Today, he's going to share with us his experience and the gift that he's cherishing. And the title of his speech is A Fight with Stillness. And welcome, distinguished Toastmaster Abhijeet.
It was March 24th, nearly 6:40 p.m. We had been meditating for 40 minutes in stillness. But at that moment, my nose was hurting and I was getting very, very warm. I could not bear it anymore. But that incident taught me two things. Never focus on the problem, and anicca, anicca, anicca. Let me take you back 3 months. My friend Sarah asked me, "Hey, do you want to go for a 3-day retreat?" It reminded me of my 10 days retreat in 2019. At day 5, I was ready to run away. I created a perfect plan that would even rival the Shawshank Redemption. But my getaway car was with my friend Sonia. I could not talk to her, not even look at her. The plan failed. But the secret is, I knew the future, that this would have happened, so that's why I did not bring my car. Now, when Sarah asked me to go for a 3-day retreat, I thought to myself, it was going to be a cakewalk. I said, yes. Sarah picked me up on Wednesday, 22nd. We arrived at the center. We had a couple of hours before the onboarding, so I went into my room and relaxed. But when the onboarding started, they said, you have to follow 2 things. First thing, you have to meditate with the N95 mask. And the second thing, they said that you have to maintain a perfect silence during the 3 group meditations lasting for 1 hour. Not only silence, but also stillness. I thought to myself, this is going to be not that easy. But I was determined. Next day morning, 8 o'clock meditation. As it started, I was ready to maintain my full stillness. But after 15 minutes go by, suddenly my forehead started scratching. And as I was focusing on it, the scratching was getting unbearable. But suddenly I saw there was this one hand started. I lost my stillness. I said to myself, I have many chances. I'm going to do it. The next time when we had the group meditation, I got the perfect pillow. I said, today is the day. Our group meditation started. But nearly 20 minutes go by, and that pillow turned into a rock. And it started hurting my rear. Oh, I just moved a little bit. And then I realized that, oh, I broke my silence again and my stillness. Friday evening, I said, today is the day. No matter what, I'm going to do it. But that evening, it was cold. So I had 4 layers on. And then when I entered the meditation hall, it felt cozy to have those 4 layers on. So I kept my layers. The meditation started. But few minutes go by, I realized that my N95 mask, rather than being here, was a little bit lower. And because of the pull, it was hurting my nose. It started paining. As I was going to adjust my mask, it reminded me of my teacher. My teacher always says, don't focus on the problem. I decided to take that advice and keep scanning my body from top to bottom. But another few minutes go by, and there were 100 bodies in that meditation hall, and suddenly it started getting very, very hot. The sweat started dripping. At that moment, there was a song going on in my head. It's getting hot in here. I wanted to remove all my layers, but my teacher said, don't focus on the problem. So I kept scanning my body. But again, after a few minutes go by, now my nose is hurting. I'm getting extremely warm. I was just ready to give up. If someone would have seen me at that moment, they would have said, oh my God, he's in such a peaceful mode. But they did not know that there was a third world war going on within me. As I was about to move and break my stillness, I remembered anicca, anicca, anicca. My teacher keeps on repeating that. Anicca means impermanence. Nothing is permanent. As I told myself, nothing is permanent, nothing is permanent. And that gave me a little bit of more encouragement. I started taking 1 minute by 1 minute. And suddenly, at the end of the hour, I heard that voice, anicca, anicca, anicca. I was very happy at the end. And when I started reflecting upon it, I realized these 2 things will stay with me forever. First thing, never focus on the problem. And anicca, anicca, anicca. Nothing is permanent.
Wow. Thank you, Abhijeet, for sharing such a wonderful story with us. And yes, we learned a lot. Like Aniksha, nothing is permanent, and never focus on problem rather than focus on the solution. Yes. So that's a very wonderful story. Now let's have a wait of 1 minute for the feedbacks and evaluations. All right. Now let's move on to the next segment. One second. Yeah, sorry. Okay. So to provide us with a challenge of today's table topics, now we have the table topics master who will be conducting this session. Please help me in welcoming our table topic master of the day, Toastmaster Kirti.
Hello everyone, this is Kirti here. Today, it's just not me who is going to be a table topic master, but we have a little girl over here. She's my housemate, little housemate. She also wants to be a table topic master. So yeah, so I think together we are going to give you guys some questions. But before that, today, we are going to explore the theme of reinventing yourself in the most hilarious way possible. Let's face it, life can get pretty boring when you are always the same old. That's why today we challenge you to forget everything you know about yourself and reinvent yourself in the craziest, most over the top ways possible. Maybe you have always dreamed of being a world renowned chef, or perhaps you secretly wish you could transform into a superhero with incredible powers. Whatever your wildest dreams are, today your chance is to make them a reality, at least for a few minutes. So let your so the key to success in table topics is to be spontaneous, be creative, and most importantly, have fun. So we can't wait to hear your ideas, Toastmasters. So let's get to reinvent ourselves, one hilarious response at a time. So the time for table topics would be 1 to 2 minutes, and after 2 minutes 30 seconds, like so the red flag will be up until like 2 minutes 30 seconds, but after it's not recommended to speak more than 2 minutes and 30 seconds because that makes us disqualified. So okay, keeping that in mind, so now who is going to be the first speaker? Any leads? Okay, I can see Stephen. Okay, her name is Presha. Presha, would you like to ask the first question? It's the fourth one.
If you were the ruler of your own
Country.
what would your
Title be?
title be, and what kind of
Laws would you make? So, if you were the ruler of your own country, what would your title be, and what kind of laws would you make? Over to Stephen.
Thank you, table for the dual table topic master. That was a wonderful idea to have a co-table topic, and she is wonderful. Thank you for that, and thank you for a wonderful question. If I was the ruler of my own country, the title for myself I would like to gain would be the science advisor. And what law I would like to make? Well, let's go back. And why do I want to be a science advisor? The main reason why I see being a science advisor can make such an impact in reinventing our country, because science technology can help us catapult us into a new level of achievement in science. And for example, maybe a manned mission to Mars, or improving our pollution. So those are many different challenges, those examples of many different challenges that we can work on. But to implement these changes, we have to implement laws that encourage people to go that way and preventing people to go backward. One of the challenges our country faces is pollution. So the law would be preventing people from making our environment worse. So we'll be making those people that polluting our air to pay for the people that making the challenges go away with innovations. So making that change is very important. And the second and last law that I would want to make would be investing in the next generation, allowing the next generation to grow and to use these technological advances to advance our country. Overall, what we want to do is to transform ourselves into a better country. That's our goal. And back to you, to the beautiful duo table topic masters.
Thank you so much, Stephen. We definitely need people like you in this like world. Definitely needs somebody like you. So thank you so much for that. So who is going to be our next speaker? Any more leads? Okay, Ramesh. So yeah, she would like to ask. She wouldn't leave me. Sixth question.
If you could try
If you could travel through
travel to
time to any era, which one would you choose and why? What kind of adventures would you have in that time period? If you could travel through time to any era, what would you choose and why? And what kind of adventures would you have in that time period?
Thank you, Madam Table Topic Master and little Table Topic Master. If I have to travel back in time to the era, I'll go back to, I don't know which era that you would call, but the times where there was no modern advancements. People used to live in jungles. They used to have education in jungles. There used to be gurus who will run education programs under the tree. People will do meditation. They learn whatever was needed skill at that time, for archery or growing plants, vegetables, surviving for the food. I feel like that was a pure way of living. And they had a very pure life at that time. There was no complication. There was no roads or cars and politics and religious divides and all of that. It was just pure. They were all about living in the best possible way with high integrity, with respect, with right boundaries for each other, living together in a very, very natural environment, something close to nature. They really worked on very simple things. They ate very simple things. It was purely things that were grown from the jungles. That's what they ate. And they were very healthy at that time. It wasn't like they had all these kinds of illnesses we think about today. So I really think about that time when we could make our life that simple, that close to nature. And I'd love to go back to that time. Back to you, Madam Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Ramesh, for that wonderful speech. And now, before we continue the table topics, I would like to give the stage back to Saloni because I think Ravi wants to give an evaluation. So once Ravi finishes the evaluation, we will go back to the table topics again.
Yeah, I would like to invite Ravi for his evaluation. Over to you, Toastmaster Ravi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nagaraj. Thank you for such a wonderful speech. The content is complicated, but your delivery is very simple. Today, I'm going to talk about two things. I'm going to talk about the content and the delivery. First, the content. I love the slides. They were colorful, they were simple, and pictures. They're excellent. The second point I want to talk about is the open. You have a great opening in 2 ways. One, you continued what the Toastmaster was telling, and you continued the point. Second way, you started with why and we. So I like the open. Now, talking about the delivery, you are very confident, you are very fast. You did not really stumble upon words. You know your content, because of which the delivery went smooth. Now, I'm going to talk about 2 improvements on both content and delivery. First, the content. Now, in the content, we should try to make the content so easy that the audience can remember. And remembering 11 points is a tough one. But if we combine those 11 into 3 boxes, it will be easy. For example, the financial plan has only 3 parts. 1, things outside the company, which include industry, market, and marketing plan. 2, in the company, which are product, how do you make, operations, and the team. Third section is what are your first 3 deliverables: risk plan, finance, and how to get money. So now I combined all these 11 points into 3 points, which will make the audience remember them. And also we can also read. This is regarding the content and the delivery. Now, all in all, I really like the content, and thank you so much for giving this. I do look at financial plans and these documents. I feel they're very complicated, but after listening to your speech, I am not afraid to go to these documents, read them, and use the knowledge that you have. In summary, we spoke about content and delivery. In the content, we spoke about the good things and the improvements, which is simplifying even further. In delivery, I think it's really good, delivery visually. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Ravi, for your evaluations. Now, I would like to call our table topics master again, Toastmaster Kirti, to continue the table topic section.
Thank you so much, Solani. Our little table topic master is slightly busy, so she left. So I would like to give the table topics now. So who would want to be next? Abhijeet, would you like to go next? Or yeah, okay, perfect. So okay, would you? Okay, she came back quickly. Ninth one.
If you were a famous movie star, what kind of movie roles would you want to play, and who would be your dream
Co-star.
co-star?
I went to Japan in 2017. As I was taking my flight from Tokyo to Hong Kong, during that time they were playing that movie, La La Land. I really like the actress who played in that movie because I had seen her prior movie, The Help. And The Help was shot in Alabama or Mississippi, and it was close to home because I went to school there. In that movie, The La La Land, the way it was picturized, the way she sang, the way she danced was mesmerizing. I love the way she acts. It feels very natural. So if I was in a movie and I had a chance to pick my co-star, it would be her, Emma. I feel because her acting is superb and she can bring the screen to life.
Thank you so much, Abhijeet. I hope your dream comes true. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so who would like to be next? Nagraj?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
If you could be any animal for a day, which one
Would it be?
would it be, and why? What kind of animal and
Antics.
antics would you get up to?
So if you could be any animal for a day, which one would it be and why? And what kind of animal antics would you get up to? Toastmaster Nagraj.
Thank you. I did not get the little one's name. What's your name?
Pressure.
Shrestha?
Prasha.
Prasha.
Please,
Thank you, Prasha, for that. Yeah, thank you, Prasha, for that question. It's really close. That question is really close to mine, because when I was a kid, the only pet from the kid until now, the only pet I had was that small cat. And if I were to be an animal, I would be that cat, to give that cat a bit of sense. Back in the day, it was, I would say, before 2000s. So that cat in India, I was in Hyderabad, that cat did have a sense. It left us, the cat left us and went on the road, and that cat got killed by a dog. So if I would have to live an animal, I would go and be that cat, so that I make sense and be in that zone, in that safe habitat, and never come outside. And always, as always, you have to be in safe habitat and grow stronger. Then only you can go out, because out there is survival of the fittest. Over to you, Kirti.
Thank you so much, Nagraj. Would you like to say something to Nagraj? Oh.
What I say?
Okay. So thank you so much. You're saying that she likes cats as well.
I look at cat only.
Okay, fine. So, so we have one more topic. Is anybody left? I think Solani is left. Would you like to take a topic? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? And what kind of superhero would you become?
Okay. Okay, that's actually I was thinking when you started reinventing yourself and just get your wild dreams out, whatever you want to do. So yes, I really want to fly. I really want to fly. Like I want to see the world from the top. And if you talk about the superhero, so Iron Man is my favorite. So I would like to, because it's little tech also. I want to make such Iron Man costume that I can wear. I can fly. I can see the world from there. So yeah, that's what I wanted that I want to reinvent myself into Iron Woman one day. Yeah, so that's what I want to have as a super ability in me.
Thank you so much, Solani. Saloni, right? I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So now I think we have one more topic, right? Do we have time, Shatul? Yeah. So I think let's involve our little table topic master. She also wants to have a similar topic as Saloni. So if her name is Presha, if you would like to be a superhero, who would it be and why? You need to sit properly. Yeah. If you would like to be a superhero, who would it be and why? Look at the camera. No, that's not correct. You said Krishna, right? They're timing. Tell quickly.
Krishna.
Okay, why is it Krishna?
Because all superheroes is like a break, and Krishna is like sometimes is break, because the super's photo is like it break, and Krishna is also staying of the photo in a break.
Okay, she thinks Super Krishna is probably superior than any superhero. Okay, so we will go with that. With that, thank you so much, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Kirti. That was an amazing table topic session we have. We went back to what we want actually. Actually, we lost when we were a kid. When we were a kid, we dreamed of doing these things. We want to fly. I want to be like Iron Man. I want to like something. But then age hits and then we lost. But yes, thank you for reminding us that. Okay, now the next part of our meeting is an important round in Toastmasters meeting. In this round, constructive feedback is given to each speakers as well the overall meeting structure that can benefit the experience evaluators and become better speakers. I would like now to hand over the session to our general evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Ramesh.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. So as Saloni mentioned, Solani. Saloni is great, right? I keep getting, it's just like Kirti, I'm getting confused as well. But I think Saloni is right. And thank you so much. Evaluation section is the most important section because we all come here to learn and to get feedback and improve and apply those feedback that we get and perform better next time. This is very important section. One of the speech has already been evaluated due to some time constraint by our evaluator. So thank you very much, Ravi, for such a fantastic evaluation that you gave. Now let's move on to our second evaluation, which is for the speech of Abhijeet. And that will be delivered by none other than Toastmaster Stephen. Stephen, over to you.
You are muted still, Stephen. Just saying. Still muted? You can't
We
say
can't hear
something?
you, Stephen.
Oh, there you are. Oh,
and you muted yourself again by mistake.
You muted again. Just now, momentarily, you are unmuted.
Okay, now, so sorry. Something wrong with the button. It wasn't working. I apologize for that. Wow. Abhijeet, today we talk about reinventing ourselves. You took us on the emotional roller coaster ride with connecting with storytelling. It was a great story that you share with us. For me, what I look into a story is a good beginning, a build up, a climax, and then the finish of the story. And you had all those components built into your story. If your story is made into a movie, it would be a blockbuster. What I like a lot about your way of presenting your story is that you use vocal variety to your advantage, and your body language on moments that you're looking to make an emphasis. you lean into the screen, it really helps us connecting with you and know these are the important points that you're trying to make. That really help us connect. The build-up. I love the build-up, how you talk about failures, things that you've done that had failed, and you build up gradually like a crescendo, and build it up to the final challenge of having the N95 mask and multiple layers. And what is Abhijeet going to do? Is he going to be successful? That was suspenseful. That was taking the audience to the climax with you, and how you successfully completed the challenge, the biggest challenge of all. And then the final wrap up with the message. It was very insightful message, and you had the phrase, if I can correctly pronounce it, Anisha. Is that right? Anisha? But basically what it means is nothing is permanent. That carries with me. This is a gift that you are giving the audience to take home. So this is one gift that I think maybe you can help us as well as and challenge the audience is using, because the title is A Fight with Stillness. Maybe you can give the audience a taste of that, of being still and quiet. Maybe consider having a 10 or 15 second of stillness and see how uncomfortable the audience would be. That's really getting us into the movie or into the story. But overall, I love how you organize your speech and deliver your speech in a way that at the end you had the finale. I really, really enjoyed it, and it was very impactful for me, and I'm sure with the audience. Thank you. Back to Toastmaster, to the general evaluator, Ramesh.
Thank you, Stephen. Even after the microphone fiasco, the muting and unmuting fiasco, you redeemed yourself with a great evaluation. I wonder that we have an auto timer. Is there a feedback on timing that we can provide to the evaluators and speakers? How long they took or something? So just to
the auto timer is basically me.
Oh, okay.
There is no separate auto timer. It's just that so that we don't have to introduce. I have two laptops on the side, and I manage it both.
Okay, good to know. Good to know, because there is a separate screen, and also there is an agenda, there is a separate entry. So I thought maybe it's a different. Okay, that's great. You are the one. So could you give us feedback about the timings? Because that helps the speakers understand, are they within the mark? How long were they off or something like that, right?
Definitely. We have, and the more space I get, the more space I get with limited rules, the more detailed and nuanced timing report I can create. But for the time being, let's start off with Nagaraj. It was 13 minutes and 28 seconds. And given the detail he was covering, I imagined something similar to happen. With the second speaker, which was Abhijeet, it was 7:21, so 7 minutes 21 seconds. Stephen's table topic was 2 minutes 10 seconds. Ramesh's was 151. Ravi's 236. Abhi's almost 1 minute, slightly off. Nagaraj was 1 minute 10 seconds. Saloni's was quite short table topic. It lasted for around 40 seconds. Prasha for 20 seconds. Stephen's evaluation lasted for 3 minutes and 7 seconds, which is quite nice. Sorry, Ravi's wasn't a table topic, it was an evaluation, and it was 236. So quite on time. There is an interesting, so this is just for the evaluators, since that is what I could focus on a bit. Ravi managed to finish it on time, along with a summary of his speech, because by 1 minute mark, he had already started delivering or was in the middle of his positive highlights of the speech. So by the time it came to 2 minutes, he was already covering, he had wrapped up for the points of improvement. Hence, he had additional time, he can wrap things up and summarize the entire evaluation. So if we are going for something similar with 2 and 2, then this seems like a nice timing format to adhere to. Well, we still have 30 seconds more, so definitely we can cover in more points, but that was that for the timeless report. I also have, thank you. I also have a bit of grammarian report.
Super.
And only 2 people managed to redeem themselves today. One was Saloni and the other was Ramesh. So we still have to work hard on using word of the day. There were points of observations or sorts of inconsistent grammar, according to me. Since there are, I still follow the English one and not the US one. So there might still be some things that are off, but nevertheless. Saloni said her at the very beginning, dream company that she was working on. You're working in that company. You're not working on that company. For Nagaraj, it was today that I wonder, today that wonder will, you mentioned something about today that wonder will move on or something like that. The phrase was something off, but maybe it can be today that wonder will transform into a detailed revelation or something. So that it creates a better picture. Even though you may be early, wanting to highlight early stages of your startup. So even if you are in the early, you may be in the early stages of your startup or initial stages, something like that. And again, note for Saloni was emotional roller coaster. Sorry, not Saloni, Stephen. Emotional roller coaster through your storytelling. Emotional, when you gave the evaluation, you said emotional roller coaster and your storytelling all through your, something was off. I forgot to write down the incorrect usage, but it could have been through or via your storytelling to point out what made you go on that emotional roller coaster. Those were the points. There were some observations with Abhijeet and Ravi. It was really hard, and also you, Ramesh, it was really hard to find or inconsistent usage of grammar. So next time, at least we are getting 2 more grammarians to spotlight on your vocab and usage. With that, I will wrap up the timer and the grammarian report. Thank you, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much. Big round of applause to Shardul for such a proactive evaluation of things that he has observed so carefully. Thank you so much. Appreciate it indeed. Yeah, I guess everyone, time-wise, everyone was great. So Saloni, please keep in mind that for table topics, you go up to 1 minute at least, right? Don't cut it too short. There were times when we used to have 45 seconds as the minimum for table topics. Now we are saying 1 minute. So 1 minute, you should at least talk, right? 1 to 2. So just a minor thing. Great, super. I think overall, I can give just some overall evaluation for the meeting today. It was great. I really love the informal environment that we create, supportive environment we create within this team, where we pitch in for each other and whatever we really need to do. This is great. I really like the fact that people step up for the role. Because Saloni, for example, I really have to appreciate that you stepped up to be Toastmaster today. Yeah, that's great, wonderful. Because only seen you join recently and you're stepping up. So that also shows that we are supportive of each other. We really encourage people to step up and we learn from our initiatives that we take. I really appreciate that. And Kirti's table topics were so cute, so nice. It was like well thought out, creative, entertaining. We could have gone a little bit more about our imagination, but at least you encourage us to think about some situations which we normally don't think. That's very nice. And good idea to have brought in, your junior partner. Added to some variety in our meetings. Thank you so much. That's so thoughtful of you. And I love the speeches, and I won't go into detail of speeches because that's what evaluators did. Evaluators already, evaluations were absolutely on the spot. They went through what exactly we encourage in Toastmasters, went through some positive things that speakers had, and some of the areas of improvement. And they were so precise that even I couldn't think about those areas of improvement that our evaluators came up with. So big applause to them as well for having done a great evaluation. Overall, great meeting. And back to you, Madam Toastmaster Saloni.
Thank you, Ramesh, for the wonderful evaluation. And yes, thanks to Shardul also for the wonderful timing and grammar evaluation. You handled both so nicely. So thanks to that as well. So I think now we had wonderful session together, interactive, full of fun, humor, and learning as well. We got to learn about the motivational things that we need to do with our life, some sort of business things that about business plans and things. So it was a full packed learning session, we can say. So with that, I think we are good to close now. All right. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.